So Doug Nussmeier is coaching in New Orleans now.
Yes, sir.
You excited about that?
Yeah, obviously it's gonna be really cool for not just me and my dad, but my entire family. To have him that close, and I tell people all the time, my whole life I've always been a Saints fan because he played there, and he was always in college, so I was always able to root for the Saints. And since he's been in the NFL, I haven't really had the opportunity to. So now I can be a full Who Dad again, and so I'm excited for that. And I think he's really excited to be back there, and it's great for our family, great for him, and so I'm so excited for him, and it's gonna be really, really cool.
Is it a case that you'll be able to go see him more, but maybe he won't be able to come see you as
Yeah,
much?
I mean, I think it'll be, obviously, we both got to focus on what we have going on, and we both are very, locked in on what we are supposed to do, and I guess I am that way because of him. He raised me to be that way and to be where my feet are, but obviously, it'll be awesome when we do have the free time to be able to get to each other, and whether it's me going down for a practice or him, able to pop out here real quick and see us. And, my younger sister also goes to school here, so, he'll be able to be around us a lot, so it's really cool.
The other day he told us it was not his dream for you to play football.
Yeah.
That he wanted you to find your passion, whatever it was, and so he never pushed football on you. You just this is what you did.
Yeah, so I'm extremely grateful to my dad for that part. He never forced me to play football, never forced me to love football. But what he did do was he gave me an opportunity to create my own connection and my own love for the game. He allowed me to be around practice. He allowed me to, when I was real young, to sit in his lap and watch tape with him and to do things like that. That ultimately led to me creating this love for the game that kind of came from myself internally. And so I'm so grateful for that, that he allowed that for me. And I think it speaks to his character and who he is as a person. And so I'm forever grateful for him to that.
So everybody asks him about you. Well, let's ask you about him. What kind of coach are they getting?
Yeah, they're getting a dog. They're getting a guy who's going to work his tail off. Somebody who's not afraid to speak his mind, to do what he believes is right. And so I think that, obviously his track record speaks for itself on the talent of the level of coach he is. And, obviously he's my father, so I'm a little biased, but, I think he's a pretty dang good coach. So.
I will say you don't look good in green, though. I saw the Super Bowl time through me.
Yeah.
We just talked to West about you, and he said that there's no doubt that you're the leader on offense. So obviously that's a mindset and a commitment from you, that something that you're building towards, right, or have been building towards. But, what is this season? Well, let's start with spring. What does this spring mean for you, and what do you want out of it?
Yeah, I think for me it's not an individual thing, As you said, it's about our team and our unit. I think it's my responsibility to do the best job I can as a leader, to push guys, to get guys in the right spots, to get guys going in the right places, and to also bring the level of intensity and juice that is expected from me as well, as the starting quarterback of this team. And so it's really for me just consistency, showing up every single day and bringing that same level of energy, and trying to bring guys along with me. And so I think that the guys have responded very well, and I think there's been a lot of energy at practices, and it's been awesome to see. And the new guys have meshed very well with the guys that have been here for a while, and so it's been a really cool dynamic, and I'm excited to see it continue to work.
It's early in spring, but it is weird for me because it feels really new, but there's still some familiarity to it. So, how does it feel to you?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say it's a little bit of both. I mean, obviously it's a different world now in college football, and this is my 5th spring, which is crazy to even think about. But it's different than any other spring I've ever been a part of. There's a different vibe, there's a different intensity level. You can ask anybody around here. We picked up the intensity, and so there's more screaming, there's more crap talk, and there's more, all of that. And so that's awesome to see. And I'm really, really, really happy and proud of our guys and the way that they've attacked this spring. So.
Just look at the receiver room. It's not real big. So how do you compensate for that?
Yeah, it might not be very big, but it's very deep, at each position. We have a lot of talent, and we have a lot of players that can go get the football, and we got guys that will make plays with the ball in their hands. So we have a very dynamic room, I would say, and it's a very competitive room. And they push each other. They understand the standard, and that's what we expect here. It's wide receiver U for a reason. So.
You obviously work with Aaron a lot, but I'm sorry, I should have said it's not very tall. I think you got 2 guys over 6'3". So is that a challenge? I mean, you're not a tall guy, but is it even more of a challenge for you to be accurate then?
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I would say that it just adds a level of, like I said, how dynamic we are. Guys can do different things, and we have different guys for different roles. And I think that's the best part about our group. Like I said, we're very deep and very talented. So.
The guys before you have made significant jumps as a starter from year 1 to year 2. not to put pressure on yourself, but do you feel like you can do something like that? Are you more comfortable? Everything's moving slower, maybe, or?
I think that that's not really my focus. I think that I'm worried about doing the best I can to help LSU win a national championship. And that's the mindset. That's the energy and intensity that I bring every single day. And it's not about me. It's not about the transition or the year 2. It's about LSU football and year 4 under Coach Kelly. What are we going to do? And we're not afraid to admit it. We've set the standard of where we expect to be, and we expect to play football in January next year. So.
When you and Chris Hilton have played together, good things have happened.
Yeah.
The Oklahoma game
Yeah.
in particular. If he can stay healthy, what do you think you guys can do this year?
Chris is an unbelievable player. He has a special talent, special speed, and his ability to track the football is very, very high. And so, obviously, we have chemistry coming in the same class together, and we've been working with each other for 4 years. And whenever he's able to stay healthy, which, I have full confidence he will be, he's a pretty dang good football player, and so I'm very excited for him this year.
You talk about your faith a lot, and he just did. His plan and God's plan, 2 different plans, and there was frustration when he's hurt and can't play and everything. What did you see him kind of work through last year to get through it?
Speaking to faith, I think Chris has done an unbelievable job with that and trusting God and his plan for him, and it's something that, has been very special to see, and it's been hard for him, and, it's not easy to have that level of hype and I guess the skill he was playing with before he got hurt last fall camp. That's tough to deal with, and to have to fight it back, and you're playing, you're not 100%, and so it looks bad, but you're coming back, and you finally get to see him towards the end of the year kind of get back into himself, and so I think he has that confidence and that glow with him. I think everybody's stories are different. I think Chris went through something that everybody has to go through, I think, at some point in their lives in some way, and whether it's, an injury or being a backup or many different things as an athlete. And I think that's why having a foundation in your faith is so important, and it's outside of sports, it's bigger than sports. Trusting in God and trusting in his timing and understanding when you go through things that, keeping your trust in him, and he'll make things right, so.
Like Koppel was kind of saying earlier, we were talking to the other guys, and they were saying one of the biggest changes they've kind of seen in you is your ability to command the room and lead this team. Do you feel like you have kind of improved your leadership abilities, that you're more comfortable commanding the guys? Yeah,
I would say that, like I said earlier, it's just been a focus for me of being consistent and bringing the same level of intensity and energy every day, and bringing guys with me and bringing guys along. And whenever I get an opportunity to, make some noise or do something after making a play, I'm going to do it, and it's just bringing that spark and bringing that juice whenever I can. So,
intensity and energy. I think that sums you up, right?
Yeah.
Passion.
Yes, sir.
How do you not put too much pressure on yourself though to be that dude, right? To be that guy. Like how do you make it come naturally?
Well, it goes back to, who I am as a person and my foundation in Christ. I have no worries, no anxiety. I know God made me who I am, and, it's not my place to doubt and question him. It's my job to trust in him and to, pay him back for the abilities that he's given to me, to do things the right way, to be an example of what he wants us to be, and go out and, spread his word and do as much as I can. So.
Back to data real quick. Just in 2012, when LSU got their heart ripped out by Alabama.
That was the Yeldon year, right? The slip screen?
Yeldon screen pass. You said you had on an Alabama jersey.
Oh, yeah, I remember that play vividly. Oh, yeah, I was going nuts. I was actually crying at the end of the second quarter because we were getting whooped, and I thought it was over and all this, and then we made a comeback, and that screen pass, sorry, it might hurt some Tiger fans listening to this, but it was a good memory for me as a kid. It was cool. So.
Yeah. Dad was calling plays.
He was. Yeah. He was calling plays, yes, sir. So.
He said he didn't know how you were going to even get out of the stadium.
Yeah, I just remember being a kid, and it's actually funny because we had family members, show up in LSU gear. I'm like, well, you can't come sit with us if you got LSU gear on. Like, that's how it was. So, like I've said many times, Louisiana is my home. We got roots here that are deep, and when you got family members showing up for your dad's game in the opposite color gear, how much LSU football means to people around here. So.
You talked about national championship and this and that. In the spring, is it too early to start saying, hey, this is what we want to do this year?
I don't think so. I think that from the jump, we've kind of set our standard of where we believe that we should be, I guess you could say it's an intensity of the way we attack every single day, that we believe we should be playing in late January. We believe that we are a national championship football team, and it's not saying, hey, we're going to win the national championship. It's saying let's hold ourselves to that standard because that's who we believe we are, and that's where it starts. So.
What are you seeing in the offensive line? a lot of new faces, right, moving things
Yeah,
around.
yeah, it's been good. You know, different guys moving into different positions and guys moving around, trying to gel and mesh. And we've got a lot of young guys who are very talented as well, and we have a lot of returners, as y'all know. So it's a very competitive environment right now. You know, a lot of leadership coming out of that room as well. You know, a lot of intensity, and you know, it's been awesome to see guys step up and kind of take over that role. You know, losing guys like Will and Emery and Miles, Deli, you know, those guys were a strong core. You know, the bomb squad, that's what we called them. You know, they were strong leaders on our team as well. And so, you know, guys starting to step up and replace that leadership that we need. And it's been awesome to see.